Okay, can you see my slide, please?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect, perfect. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining today, the GSFN 2023 conference, annual conference. This is for the third time we are organizing this conference, and I'm really proud to say that you are all here to support us. So thank you very much. And I am Dr. Renuka Thakur. So whoever have not met me personally yet, or I mean, online is also personally for me. So if they have not met me and known me, so I'm Dr. Renuka Thakur, founder of Global Sustainable Futures Progress to Partnership Network. And we have a new addition. My husband, Bharat Thakur, has joined GSFN as a co-founder and director as well. But that is a different story. But I would like to also tell that we are celebrating this conference as a knowledge day as part of his birthday. Every year, it is normally on 9th or 10th of or 11th of December. But this time I was in COP, and so we had to delay this to today. Especially, I believe that whatever we share in the world, I think knowledge sharing is the best sharing. And if we care for the world, I think we are all caring for each other, but we also need to care for the world in a sense that we want to deliver sustainable development goals. And finally, I would like to have another word added to my these probably objectives of GSFN is daring. I have learned these three words, sharing, caring, and daring, very recently, where I was invited for the UN Global Innovation Hub, and the director of that hub shared with me. And I think we should all dare to speak what we believe in. And that is what we are doing through GSFN. No, there is no restriction here in GSFN to dare what you want to do. And we are open for all possibilities. And that is what we are trying and supporting each other to do that. So here we are not limited by any institutional bureaucracy. We are not limited by educational limitations. Everyone is invited here. Everyone has a place for them to maneuver themselves through the complexities of the real world and make some impact on global sustainable futures. And I'm really proud that today we have 6,000 or more than 6,000 coordinators. I have lost the count now at the moment, but we will soon present things in annual report that we are working on. And these 6,000 people are not only individuals, they are associated with the networks, organizations, and universities. And therefore, today we have a reach to nearly 1.5 million people in the world, which is not anything like short of. It is really tremendous achievement in these 3 years that you people have gathered and achieved with GSFN. So recently, I have been involved in UN, and I'm going to make sure that next year we have a place of our own in COP29, so that we can all present our views and make an impact in shaping our future. This time we had a few limitations. Of course, our organization is a learning organization, and we want to learn from each other. Whoever has that expertise should share with one another so that we can grow. Having said that, today I would like to introduce two chairs of today's conference, and I would like to invite Dr. Amal I can't spell her other name, but Dr. Amal from Egypt, who has taken initiative to chair today's conference. I would also like to invite Professor Panos Kontakos from Greece and no, Cyprus, to chair the session for today. And please, uh, Dr. Amal, please tell about yourself. I'm going to stop this screen sharing now. Also, just before we move to Dr. Amal, the house rules that please keep your mic mute and on mute unless you take the floor. Also, please remember that it is recorded. This meeting is recorded and it is on live on our YouTube channel. If you don't want to show your face or if you have any problem with that, then please keep your camera off. But otherwise, I would definitely encourage you to open your camera so that everyone can, we can be visible to people. So thank you very much. I will stop sharing and I will ask Dr. Amal to introduce herself.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on your country. My name is Amal Abdel Halim. I'm assistant professor of environmental engineering at Egypt Japan University of Science and Technology in Egypt. And I got my PhD in environmental engineering from Hong Kong Polytechnic University. It was really a great honor and a great pleasure to participate in this session as a chair. Today, I think we will explore like insightful and innovative solutions for making our planet more sustainable in the future. So we will start for every session. We will last for 15 minutes. So I hope we will be limited to the assigned time. And then we have 5 minutes for questions and answers, or even also we have also another, if there is no question, we also have some persons who are volunteers to summarize each presentation. So I hope you enjoy the discussions and enjoy the presentations, and I hope it will be insightful and informative. And we will present some, I hope we can present some initiatives that will be very helpful and useful for making our world more sustainable in the future. Today I will now start with Dr. Panos Kanotas. So sorry that if I pronounce the name not right. I'm really very glad to be with him as the chair also, and he will be also a keynote speaker. He is an assistant professor at the British University of Cyprus and deputy dean of the School of Business and Management. He will start his talk with the topic of navigating contemporary economic challenges in a global transitional era. So, Dr. Panos, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amal, for this kind presentation. Before proceeding, let me ask Renuka, do I have to proceed with my talk now or later on at the end of this session?
No, we have, because we have you as a keynote, so let us first please introduce yourself and give us a welcome speech as a chair, and then continue with the keynote, and then we can proceed with the other speakers. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Renuka. First of all, I would like to thank you for this possibility to be here in this conference. Especially Dr. Renuka Thakore, who is the founder of GSFN Network and Conference, as well as Dr. Amal. And I would like also to greet our esteemed conference participants and organizing committee, colleagues, and academics. For me, it is a great opportunity, I have to say. Perhaps I can share my presentation as well. Renuka, I have to share my screen. Okay, simply. Okay, share.
Yes, it is allowed.
Yes, so
So
it is
please
fine,
carry on.
yes. So I think everything is visible now.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, but can
Yes,
you put it on a slideshow? Yeah, perfect.
yes, very well. So thank you very much for the opportunity to address at this important conference in a critical epoch and share my experiences and views related with mainly the geo-economic and geopolitical challenges that we are all encountered with. My name is Panagiotis Kontakos, and I'm Assistant Professor in International Business and Deputy Dean of the School of Business and Management and Chair of Innovation and Enterprise in our university, Euclid, Cyprus, which is a campus of the university that Dr. Thakore comes from. We are actually from the same university, but we are the Cypriot campus here. Attending this conference for the second time, I have to say, is truly an honor to me. The conference is distinguished by its emphasis on promoting partnerships, but also global diversity and inclusion, aspects for which the UN plays a pivotal role in advocating on a global level. Before start my presentation, because we are going to navigate, as we call here, contemporary economic challenges that we face, I would like to make a historical metaphor and comparison back to the 3rd century, when I have to say the loss of political unity and military control that time by ancient Rome, especially around its Mediterranean world, somehow in combination with many events, expedited that times in the 3rd century the end of the so-called Imperium Romanum, which signified the first ancient form of globalization for a period that lasted 450 years. Okay, so the Imperium Romanum finished, as we all know, almost the 3rd century. The reason that I made this metaphor is that because the causes of the collapse that time were mainly political, economic, and ideological, and several direct parallelisms can be made with the war that we all experience today. In my unorthodox presentation that will follow, it is not a coincidence that my selected movements corresponds to pictures and realities that I have borrowed from our contemporary world economy to synthesize my own suite of pictures of a world in transit. I hope that each one of the movements will contribute as a colorful reference for many of us that responsibly attempt in achieving more academic clarity and rationale in a world characterized by information overabundance, which, however, is frequently contradictory, misleading, or inaccurate, resulting in most cases in largely deficient knowledge and even larger deficits of wisdom. So, my first movement is related with Europe's economic engine, which is currently breaking down. In the European Union, we are the largest global importer of energy. We import 58% of the energy we consume, with Russia, until 1.5 years ago, being the leading supplier for almost half of our energy imported commodities. Much of Europe is feeling the strain from Russia's squeeze on natural gas deliveries, yet no other country is as exposed as the region's biggest economy. Gas is the single largest source of energy on which Germany's mighty industrial base relies, and nearly half the homes. As Robert Habeck, Germany's vice chancellor and economy minister, said, the challenges we are facing are enormous and they affect significant areas of the economy and society. Germany has been Europe's economic engine for decades, pulling the region through one crisis after another. But currently, that resilience is breaking down and it spells danger for the whole continent. Today, the country, Germany, as we can see from this chart, faces the worst outlook within the G7, with a recession, negative growth for this projected for this and coming in the next year. Germany, actually, we have to say, that has developed a business model that was largely based on dependence on cheap Russian gas in order to make German exports, especially to Asian countries, competitive. However, this model, we have to say, has failed now, and it is not coming back. The age of industrialization for Europe's largest economy and industry started in 1871. Today, Germany, which is the fourth biggest economy of the world and its third biggest exporter of goods, faces a looming threat of deindustrialization. So we have to say that for Germany, it is a crunch time for a business model built on cheap Russian gas and Chinese demand. My second movement is related with the bill of failed green transition. The bill of Europe's energy crisis is nearing 700 billion euros as governments rushed in the previous winter to cushion the impact of the energy crunch on consumers and businesses, that is, via subsidies for heating and measures to keep some energy companies afloat. The magnitude of the burden enters into perspective when compared with the European Green Deal investment plan, that is the investment pillar of the Green Deal, and the planned 1 trillion in sustainable investments over 2020-2030. In other words, we have already consumed in subsidies colossal monetary resources that were aimed to cover the 10-year plan of the largest ever European economy transformation. And undoubtedly, this is clearly not only unsustainable from a public finance perspective, but also endangers to derail and set as obsolete the overall European Green Deal at its infant stages. My next movement, you see here a variety of movements because there are many things that we need to cover in a very short time, is related to Cyprus and Greece. And I have named this movement as the Europe's lost opportunity because I have the privilege to be very close to all these developments. This is a topic that I deal with during the last 20 years in a scientific conference that I participated a long time ago in the United Arab Emirates. I had mentioned that time that the countries of the Eastern Mediterranean had the potential to become the 7 United Emirates of the region. Since 2011, significant offshore reserves of natural gas have been officially discovered in Cyprus' exclusive economic zone, and even higher quantities in Greece's exclusive economic zone. Various rounds for licenses have taken place where large international oil companies have participated. And based on evidence from seismic data and test exploration drillings, Greece, Cyprus, and partially only Israel have the capacity to cover 50% of the European needs in natural gas for the next 30 years. A lot of investments had been expected to take place during the past years. However, prolonged delays have occurred in the implementation of all relevant projects. There are two major causes for this inertia. Firstly, the collapse of capital spending by oil and gas companies due to the investment uncertainty caused by the political priorities for the green transition. And of course, a lot of conflicts and uncertainties in the Eastern Mediterranean that we all know that geopolitically it's a very critical place. My next movement that you can see here, it is called King Dollar is crashing its legs. The left leg, it is the euro. We have seen that euro currency has sunk in the last months and year, 1 or 2 years, to edge almost of dollar parity at a 20-year low. This is a chart from Bloomberg that you can see here, depicting the FX rate between euro and USD dollars. And we have to say that Europe suffers most from the Ukrainian-Russian military confrontation, which has sparked an energy crisis and could lead to potentially a long and deep recession. It's the first time the euro has sunk to that psychological level since 2002. in the early years of the currency's existence, and European Union's cohesion, solidarity, and unity is at risk for the first time. The next leg, the other leg of the dollar, in my view, is the British pound, of course. The death of the Queen Elizabeth II and the fall of the pound do seem jointly to signify decisively the end of an era. These two events could be considered markers in a long historical procession in the British economy and the pound sterling, becoming far less important than they once were. You can see in this chart the parity, actually the FX rate of the British pound versus dollar the last 100 years. So you can see here 100 years ago, one British pound, it was equal to $5. Currently, it is almost near to 1. So the pound's demise to its lowest level is sort of indicative of this broader decline in multiple dimensions. It echoes declines in British power, past and present. The most recent pound's journey indicates a decline in economic and political influence that accelerated when Britain voted to leave the European Union in 2016. In many respects, Britain already has the worst performing economy among the 38 member OECD countries, and it is just a question of time before it falls out of the top 10 economies in the world. And the last, and the king, the dollar here, I discussed before the decline of British pound and the euro versus the dollar. However, this is not the end of the story. Within all these negative developments in the Western Hemisphere, dollar has appeared in the last year to act as a safe haven and currency of last resort, attracting the FX liquidities of global investors who run to diversify away from Europe and the UK. In reality, however, we have to say that the dollar pound and dollar euro parities are compounded by a steady decrease of dollar's purchasing power and US inflation reaching almost 40-year records. In other words, you can see here that we are in a race to the bottom because both the British pound and the euro are declining, but also US dollar declining in itself due to this inflation trends. As part of this, we have seen recently bank failures in the US, and I have to mention very briefly here, with relevance to the most recent bank failures in Europe and the US, that the scale currently of the recent Silicon Valley collapse and Signature Bank collapse, although it was only two banks, in terms of the size, it was equivalent almost to the crisis that we experienced in 2008. In total, I have to mention from this chart that there were 563 bank failures in the United States between 2021 and 2023. Almost 600 banks have failed, according to the official information, which is coming again back to my point about why the US dollar is losing power. Here I have included a chart from the long demise of Credit Suisse that we all know that happened in March 2023. I have to mention here that that was a major crisis in the banking system of the European Union, in the center of Europe, in the Swiss banking system. In order to give you a perspective what this has meant for Europe and especially for the Swiss government, Credit Suisse, it is the same globally systemically important bank category as the likes of Morgan Stanley, UBS, and Wells Fargo. In other words, it is one of the largest banks around in the world, both from the side of their size, but also from their complexity. In the case of Credit Suisse Bank, the bank's latest filing reported that its total global payments activity was almost 32 trillion Swiss francs. In order to understand what has happened with Credit Suisse, it's very important to put into perspective what were the funds under management. And these are almost 32 trillion Swiss francs. So we have a major issue, not only the United States in the banking system there with Silicon Valley and other banks, but also in Europe currently. Movement number 6, a timeline of global production. The global production and supply chains have seen enormous changes over the last 100 years, focusing just on the last 30 years. Abandoned infrastructures cannot only be seen spreading around in many
Professor
forms.
Panos, can we wind up a bit?
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Renuka. I can close in 1 minute yet, if I can have.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. What I want to say with all these changes, we are facing very big movements in global production and supply chains. And you can see only from this figure in the latest summit a year ago here, we have the heads of states representing almost 4 billion people, or half of the population of the earth, around a single table. So what I have to say is that we are experiencing a very critical period. In my personal view, we should be expecting a lot of fragmentations probably in this shift from a unipolar to a multipolar world. So I would like to close with this, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Panos, for your insightful presentation. And now we will open about 5 minutes for 2 or 3 questions. If anyone has questions, just raise your hand or just write your question in the chat box.
Please, can you stop sharing as well? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, anyone would like to comment? And I think what I think personally, that you have made a lot of analysis which are great, in-depth analysis, and it's hard to understand the financial this
Yes.
turmoil. Actually, it is a turmoil when you are still dealing with your own problems at an individual level or maybe at an organizational level. These macro level analyses are quite different to be quite difficult to visible. And of course, they are very important because they impact individual lives as well. Though they are macro mechanisms, but they are definitely impacting each and everyone's life, how we should proceed with different activities, and where should we take the decision, and where should we invest for a better productivity or desirable outcomes such as low carbon productivity. So thank you for providing this picture. And please, anyone who you can also elaborate something. What would be the how organizations can understand where to invest? Because if the financial system is so fragile,
Yes.
so what we should be doing, how we can move forward.
Yes.
Thank
Indeed, Renuka, I have to say from my side, just for a second, that we all agree that we need to have a global sustainable future. There is no other way around. But on the background, there are a lot of difficult aspects that we have to cover on the other side, as I explained before. So it is a difficult parallel process, and we live in a world of high uncertainty currently, and this is going to intensify in the near future, in my view. As we can see here, what happens in Gaza, in Israel, and all these cases, all these are not good signs for the future, even from the side of sustainability.
Dear Professor Panos, I also have my own question.
Yes, please.
Yes. What do you think the best practices regarding the taxes that can be, or maybe the taxes mitigation related to the green transition for in some industries?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, this is a very critical question. In my view, the reason that we have not done very well in Europe the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years especially, it is because we didn't manage effectively and smoothly this green transition. In other words, we cannot move from a period of industrialization and an industrial model, as in the case of Germany, directly in 1 or 2, 3 years to the green model. We all agree that we have to go green or blue, as we call it, but this has to be happening progressively. Because currently what we face in Europe, because of this fast green transition, it is a collapse of the German economy currently. This is a big problem. And this is sort of indicative of what happens. To say the truth, we're in a very difficult position. A lot of money has been spent. And in my view, I'm very positive for the green transition, but also I'm not anymore that optimistic as in the past, because a lot of money has been spent from the European country budgets, and the fiscal dimension of this is very negative currently.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have only 1 minute. If
we have one question here. Jetinet.
Yes, Jetinet. Please
What
ask
are the effects on dollars by a rising BRIC currency?
Yes, the question is about
what you think the effects on dollars by a rising BRICS currency, BRICS.
BRICS?
Yeah, this is like a convention recently.
Okay, very briefly, because again, this is a big discussion. I think we all experience this collapse in power, decline in power of dollar. This is, I think, something that we cannot dispute. On the other side, I cannot say that it's very easy to develop a BRICS currency very soon. You see that Argentina already in the new government, there is negative reaction. I think India is also not very positive for the short or medium term. It can happen in the long term, but also we have to remember that the BRIC countries are not like European Union countries. There are different cultures. So we need to cover space for this to happen, to have a BRICS currency. I don't think that this will happen in the near future. However, the increase of international payments with the currencies of BRIC countries is going further to undermine the role of dollar as a global currency. So it has an impact irrespective of this.
Thank you, Professor Panos, and I will leave the floor for you to present the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amal. So let's see, the next speaker is, let me see, we have, I think, from Kenya, John Linus. Is John along with us? So we don't have yet John with us, and perhaps we can proceed with Okello. Okello is here from Ethiopia. Othello is a Roxburgh student, and is interested in building ventures that improve the reading and writing skills of students at lower primary schools through training English language teachers in 3 schools I see here in his country. So imparting knowledge and providing training, knowledge transfer, it is in the heart of Okello. So Okello, you are very glad to present your main ideas towards this direction. We are very glad to have you with us. Perhaps Okello has
Hello.
Okay, we can hear you very well.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the context where you find yourself. It is my pleasure to be in this forum to share my idea, also to hear from others, to hear the ideas of others, like your presentations. Of course, when I joined this organization, when I joined this forum, of course, it's my third time now to have opportunity to learn from a different people. But today will be different because I have to share also my feeling, my idea on the thing I want to contribute in my community. Yes, I would like again to say thank you, Dr. Ronaka, and I would like to say thank you to Mile, those of FENAL. I would like to say thank you, Dr. Ponis Konese. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Okero Omot from Ethiopia, basically in Gambela region of Ethiopia. As one of the community who are always thinking to deliver something that can benefit the community, I'm worrying that I have to do something that can help my community seeing the bright future of the community. Of course, the SDG have a lot of activity need to be fulfilled, and my area of concern is educational quality of education's area. So if you look at the area where I find myself today, Ethiopian really invests a lot of things, almost for over 20 years, to have access of education for all children for free up to university level. But it is an area where there's a lot of questions all related to the quality of educations. Ethiopia education curriculum are taught in a lower primary school in local languages as well as English. But when they reach to upper level, the student have to be introduced to English. All subjects will be taught in English up to university level. So recently, there's a lot of questions which is raised, and lots of challenging was found from university, where the student from 2 consecutive years, only 3% in 2023, in 2021, and 2.2% up in 2023 get access to university, which is 95% of the students, they fail to score the scoring mark, which is 50% to get access to university. And then when those questions was raised, what make this challenging to happen in the country? The reason why this thing happen in the country, of course, there's a lot of multi-factor, but from my perspective, I learned that the problem in my area particularly, the students who are in lower primary school, they were not taught how to learn and write. So when they grow up, they grow up with the formality where they cannot deeply understand the subject matter. So to sort out this problem, which the students are facing in lower primary school, I try to brainstorming to work out with the different community to find a solution, finding a way to train the teacher who are in lower primary school to have skill and better knowledge on teaching a student how to write and read in English. So will improve the quality of education for the student in lower primary school. So when they grow up, they can understand the subject matter, so they will have access to reach to university. So they can learn the subject, which they can bring it back to service the community when they get graduations. So this is my purpose. So I want to connect myself with this project and learn a lot of and get opportunity to develop this further, this knowledge further to develop the efficiency way that I can develop this project to be a really helping the community who are strongly, or helping the children who are strongly in school to find a way to understand the subject matter they are studying. Thank you. This is my presentation. Of course, a little bit I want to say sorry because I did not prepare this slide, but I hope that you get the tip of my information I want to share. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Okello, for this very interesting talk about quality education in your country. Indeed, this is a very major issue. Indeed, the lack of English language proficiency, it is a real problem for students to continue in the university. So we would like to welcome any questions at this stage.
Thank you very much, Okelo. I completely agree with you that the quality education is an issue. And of course, especially, when we have this target of quality education, we have seen some reports that have continuously coming up every year saying that the teachers' education qualification is not enough or is not to the marks that they can deploy that education to the students. Many teachers are just on the paper, and they do not qualify even the standard test which they need to be. So teachers' qualification is very important, and I think we should work on this. We will find some appropriate, channels who can help us, and also where we can get some funding or grants, or maybe we can take this forward as to your government or state level authorities, where we can talk about this and do something. I have come across many people from Africa and also in India and Asia, and even I would say there are few gaps in Western countries, developed countries as well, about teachers training. And we must do something, that is for sure. Let us work for some sort of solution and how we can proceed. So thank you very much for highlighting this issue. And anyone from here whoever has any suggestions, please feel free to say. Thank you.
Yes, Professor Inoka, sorry that I couldn't find the raising hand here. So I have just a suggestion for Okela. First of all, thank you for your talk. I believe that you want to achieve goal number 4 for equality of education regarding improving writing and reading skills of the primary school students. But what about gender equality, goal number 5? There are any strategies to improve the gender equality or achieve goal number 5 for gender equality regarding this matter?
Thank you for asking this question. Of course, when the system, when one system are affected, the all system are affected. Because if the students who are in school, they do not know how to read and write. So do you think that even if you train them how to balance gender equality, do you think that they will learn that? No, the first priority thing, the basic thing for the student is to learn the subject matter very well, and then they will practice it by applying them in other area. So if the student already strongly with understand the subject matter, you can't expect other thing again the student can do. So there is no way for the student to learn other opportunity. Thank you. I don't know if I answer your question properly.
Okay, thank you.
I can just
add.
We have, I think, 2 questions first of all, from Professor Spiro Haxi, and later from Dr. Herbert Mandla.
Along with the quality.
Hello. Hello.
I think, yes, there is a problem with the connection, but we can hear you, Professor Haxi.
Okay.
You are welcome, please.
Okay. Thank you, Panos. And hi, everybody. We are discussing something very important here with Olea for quality in education. I think that this is very, very important problem. And I think that it counts that we as a humanity and education in academia, we don't have any understanding what is the quality. What is the quality? We equate, I think, the concept of quality with concept of standard or the concept of value. But quality, it's not just, it's not standard, it's not equal with the concept of value. The concept of quality is the leading concept, and so far it's very confusing in literature.
Yes.
I have worked for a very long time to define this concept, and I find out that the quality is a very important leading concept, and I defined it as a ratio between value and anti-value. And I have some books written for those, and I believe that together with Global Sustainability Future Network, we have to clarify this very, very important concept, because quality is connected with sustainability too.
Yes.
Quality and sustainability are direct related with one another. And if we don't have any clear understanding and scientific understanding, objective understanding about the quality, we don't understand, and we are very confusing with the concept of sustainability too. When we say sustainability development or progress development, sustainable progress, all those terms are very, very confusing, very confusing. And if we are confusing as a concept for those, we can't teach, we can teach and we can communicate with one another. So I believe that in the future we are going to work in this direction to have the mathematical definition of this concept of quality and concept of sustainability development. And once we are going to have mathematical definition, we are going to have formula, like we have a formula for the concept of speed, let's say, or velocity, or the concept of weight, or in the physics. We have to have these concepts in the communication, in those very important leading concepts as quality and sustainability and development and well-being. And I think that in the future we're going to do something very important in this direction. I have written, as I said, some books. Here is the quality. One of those is quality and general welfare codification, where we have defined mathematically the concept of quality. Very, very, very important concept, leading concept in life, that it is known by individual brain, but it is not expressed so far by language. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Spiro Haxi. Perhaps we can accommodate a short question also from Dr. Herbert Mantla before closing this with our speaker, with Okello. Please, Dr. Herbert.
Thank you so much, Professor Spiro. I think actually plowed into some of the things that I wanted to ask Okello for the presentation. I think basically he touched on the areas that I was actually going to ask Dr. Renuka us as GSFN. I think it's an area that he mentioned, global sustainable futures as a network. I mean, he plowed on quality. What is the quality of education? I mean, I'm looking at my travels and experiences in Africa. Because when we are able to define the quality of the education, a lot of the questions and the challenges that Okello is facing within his space in Ethiopia, they can be addressed. So basically, I think as Global Sustainable Futures at some point, Dr. Renuka, this is an area that requires attention in terms of quality material development. When we are doing a certain curriculum, I mean, especially in Africa, what is the end product? What are we trying to achieve with the end product of this certain type of curriculum being developed? I think a lot of the stuff Professor Spiro mentioned on them, I just wanted to add on that. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you very much. Just before closing, I would like to touch on this. Yes, I completely agree that the traditional educational systems have failed to deliver what we want to do, achieve as a quality education, because everyone are stuck with the set norms of delivering lectures or maybe delivering, some sort of education without having connection to the real life problems or real life opportunities. We have been producing managers just as a products of a factory.
Yeah.
And that needs to be changed. So yes, I would like to develop some sort of courses, and there are plenty of different alternative courses, just as like playing with games can also educate children. But we never thought of that because we think that play is very different than learning. And likewise, there are plenty of different modes of teaching children, even at home. And therefore, I like the question of Dr. Amal, who raised about gender equality. If the female of the house, because generally still in the most houses, female leads on caring for children or taking care of the household and the children.
Yeah.
So if the female is educated, she would be able to deliver that education to her children while she is taking care of it. And I think we now need a simple learning, such as what we need to eat, how we need to have our lifestyle, how we need to travel. And these all things are very important now. Like basics, which we are learning from subject areas like English or mathematics or science, they are definitely important, but they are also they must be linked to the real life activities. Then only they are valuable. Those education are quality and valuable to us to sustain our life. So I will stop here, but definitely your point is valid and you have raised a very good discussion here. Thank you. I think Michael is there one, just if we want to go ahead for a short input. Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Renuka. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Michael Wanjuzi Makongo. About Mr. Okello's issue, there is something called solutionary educators. And this is done by the Institute for Humane Education. Now, the Institute of Humane Education teaches teachers how to make students to solve their own problems affecting their communities. And in every community, there are different problems. So there's a way they impact some skills in you, and in these skills, the students you teach. This program can be put in the curriculum of schools, but what they do is they teach students right from kindergarten onwards to live in harmony with animals and the plants and human beings. And this is very important to so that they grow up knowing that we need our environment, we need the trees. So this is also another good area which we could get involved and impact this knowledge to the students wherever we come from.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to add on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I know you have been, you are working in this area and you are also qualified teachers trainer. I
Yes,
have, yes, so certainly let us connect with Okello and form some sort of such project where we can help and initiate this. And I would also like to point someone here who is Jasmine and Donna, who are also spreading education through the Global Studio and global Zoom meetings and all that. And especially Jasmine is working for the students who are excluded from the school. And probably she has good techniques to bring children who are left out from the education to bring them back. So yes, there are possibilities of working 3 or 4 people like you together and develop a course or a project like this. Certainly. Thank you very much for this discussion, and we will move that forward in 2024. Please take, all of you whom I have mentioned, take your lead initiative yourself and be in contact with me, and we can do something about it. Thank you. Amal, now the
Thank you.
floor
Well
is yours.
noted.
Okay, thank you. Now we may go to the next speaker. We have here Mr. Otbal Chakraborty from India. Is available or not available?
I think Utpal is not in the chat. I cannot see him.
Okay.
Let me check.
What about Mr. Shiv Rao? Is also from India.
Yes, he is not here. Let me just put an email to them or something while you continue with others.
Okay. Then we have Mr. Benda Lal. He is a program manager in Social Justice Labor Department in India, and his talk will be about bonded labor. Yeah, the floor is yours, Mr. Benda.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Due to, ma'am, a very serious problem in education, to general education, but due to lack of special education. For general education, to both female and males, but special education is very, very vacant in India. So some things is very problem. If everyone is bring up to the improve the special education, it is very good. Thank you.
Mr. Benda, now the floor is yours.
I think Binda has mentioned the issue only, so I don't think he will continue with the talk. But let us certainly, this is again a very important, issue he has raised. So, Binda, may I ask you your experience in it, if you can share?
Yeah, I'm chair. Ma'am, currently we working on bonded labor in India as bricklayer industry. Has like very large numbers of bricklayer workers in India and many others. The global stages 6 crore people as bonded labor, but slavery is changed. In the last past time, slavery is different, but in the present time, slavery is different. But the जो numbering है, वो very large numbering slavery है, so that our organization is working day to day and to in the scores of child and bonded labor and engaging in the creation of new lives for them. Second, this is to engage so many empowerment and in of untouchability and descriptions which marginalize Dalit and minority groups. As like the Dalit and minority groups is very different from general caste. Casteism is very critical problem in India. So we work at the high stage in the Dalit and minority groups. Like to provide the capacity building, to encourage the basic education and equal education and quality-based education, to improve their natures and to provide, to create the sustainability like the long-term growth, to spread awareness and create groups of models in the cultural space in villages. We do not the cultural activities which decorate pity, mock, disadvantaged groups. Likewise, we promote all cultures like as like we show the program key performance indicators in this year. From the community-based involved activities, bonded labor pay, either March to the September, awareness meeting, bricklayer workers, union meetings, agriculture and bonded and rescue. Because many people were bonded in the bricklayer industries as the advance money. It is very main issues to the advance money, but this is not in the, as like the properly. We work like a very high level, but it is not into the invest timely. We work strong lining with the district administrations like district magistrate, deputy commissioner, along with to improve their children's due to lack of the education, hunger, जबकि जो global unstable है zero based hunger, but there is very critical problem to improve. So many very few organizations work on this stage. We want to improve that something is some added organization to work in this field, so it is very good. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, Amal, take your floor and ask for questions.
If anyone has any questions, just raise your hand, or maybe you can just add the question in the chat box, please. We have some time. We have nearly about 14 minutes, so we can have more discussion about this topic.
Yes, we have raised a hand from Faisal.
Faisal, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon or good morning. I'm basically from India and working here in Qatar. These things about related to education. Even in India, our Kerala, I'm basically from India, Kerala state. We are promoting vocational education system. Like our students can make own development and productive youth in future. Like they have a theoretical education, included the vocational, like their capacity, their knowledge make it to be. We need to be the education system all over the world for the vocational education system. This is what like we can develop for the natural, we can develop for the software or productive way. This is what I can say about the education system.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Faisal. Anyone else has any question? I have one question. So I believe here we need to, for every session, we need to focus about what are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that can be achieved for each topic. So I believe for this topic that was already presented by Benda, he is already focusing on goal number 16, which is peace and justice. So from my own perspective, I want to know, like, if there are any initiatives or any practices that we can do to have justice at work for like job applications or yeah.
Thank you, Amal. That's very good point. But before I comment on everyone, I have this someone else, Flavish
Yeah.
Kubli, raising his hand. Raising hand.
Okay, the floor is yours, Falafius. Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours. Mr. Falavius.
Flavius, yes.
Yeah.
And I think also Hillary had raised the hand before. Hillary.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, Falavius, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a brief summary of what the session is all about so that I can catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, may I intervene? Flavius, this is GSFN conference, but everyone is invited to speak on their interest and topic. So we already have these people put their form to for the conference,
Yes.
and they are presenting their topic. So you may not find consistent topics, but anyone who is interested and want to raise their voice, that is what we are at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you.
And I think we wanted to invite Hilary to give his comments if they have.
Exactly. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for this informative session that we are having. And my suggestion is that the only way we can achieve the sustainable development goal is through sensitization and education. Because if we cannot educate our marginalized community, they cannot actually know what is going on. And most people currently, even when you walk in the streets, they are complaining about the global warming. And I think we have the information gap because of education. And I big up you so much for enhancing the quality education that you are talking about, and we should approach this problem as an opportunity in order for us to empower the marginalized community in exploring the quality education. That's all that I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hilary, Amal, and all others who have put their perspective here. I think, yes, that is very, very important. This network was also initiative just to voice early career researchers first. But we have grown so much. Multilateralism is important, multidisciplinary is important, and to bring each and every sector and society of the world within this network, we expanded, or we have actually adopted global sustainable development goals as our framework. And here, whatever the issues are raised are definitely very, very important, and each one has an impact on other issues. Just as we have seen the quality education, as everyone has completely agree with that quality education is very much important, but also only the education and awareness is very important. Basic literacy is very important, because without that, people will not be able to understand what issues are going out. Very rightly said by Hilary just now. And what I would like everyone to initiate such a network within your reach. Can you imagine that if I, within such a small time and by connecting to you, we have grown, and I can see plenty of our GSFN have grown their network through these contagious good habit. And I think Michael is a very good example here. He has, and I will again give floor to him. And he has, and not only he, many others whoever are going to get awards today have proved that they can do some impact in our society, and that is what we want. Keep this practice, keep the broadness of engaging with people and accepting the people's idea and supporting each other, and that is the way to move forward. Yes, Michael, please have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Renuka. Just to add on what you've said, when I joined GSFN, my work and life has improved tremendously. And it is through GNSF that I've managed to expand my network. And with that title you gave me on my badge, it has I've connected with very many people courtesy of GSFN, and I've learned a lot courtesy of GSFN, and I'm still learning. I think the future is bright for GSFN. We just have to improve and continue. It's a continuous learning process, and we'll definitely get there. Thank you very much, Dr. Renuka.
Thank you. And also you have connected to your wife. Congratulations. Oh yeah, hello, how are you? So the floor is yours. Come on, let's get to work again.
Okay. So
we have, I think, Amal, I think we have also a raised hand from Professor. I see a hand raised here from Professor Jose Esteves, I think.
Yeah. Professor Jose, okay, the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Oh, I feel always welcome when I have the opportunity to be a part of this gathering of minds. I have, named our meetings of Global Sustainable Future Network as a gathering of minds because this is really true, as we all can see here. I'm sending first a warm greeting from Brazil, really warm, because as you probably know or have noticed from the news, we are almost suffering the second heat dome that will grow up the temperatures here in Brazil in almost all regions for something about 10 degrees Celsius. Unfortunately, a month ago, and we are not in summer yet, unfortunately, 1 month ago, COP28 thoughts were proved here in Brazil with the fact that we had an Amazon that is dry, the rivers are dry, and with the fact that the south of Brazil is suffering the worst rainfalls that they ever saw in the past 80 years. So there is no register in the past of the rains affected so hardly the south region in Brazil. And of course, it has a direct umbilical relationship with the fact that Amazon is dry. Well, I would like to extend the best wishes for all of you. We are in the closing of this end, the year 2023, that we expected a lot to be the first post-pandemic year in the globe. And we have to deal in the past 2 years with all these impacts that were caused by COVID-19 global pandemic. And related to this aspect of quality education, we had a great loss because according to UNESCO, we had something around 1.5 billion students outside the classroom in a period of almost 2 years. We have broadened inequality in terms of education around the globe. And I will, of course, speak a little bit more about Brazil because I am Brazilian. I do live in Brazil. And probably you will be able to speak more about the countries and societies that you live in. But in terms of impact in education in Brazil, it was a mess, really, because if we compare the gap of the learning impacts that we have when compared to other countries in OCDE that have felt a downgrade of almost 4 to 6 months in terms of learning. In terms of Brazil and Latin America, this impact can reach something around 4 years. So it means that we will have to work hard 4 years, especially in the public education system, to be at the same point that we were in the bottom end of the year 2019. That was, the entry room of the COVID-19 pandemic that was installed globally from a small city, for a small city in China parameters, called Wuhan, in February of the year 2020. And I got a very hard responsibility here because Dr. Renuka Thakur, who is our brave leader and a global coordinator of this network, has appointed me to be some kind of a speaker on behalf of the SDG 4. Since I do have this experience really, because I have been struggling the past 35 years of my life with the education system here in Brazil, especially trying to mitigate and to point out the gap between the public and the private education systems here in Brazil. I believe the same happened in other countries, despite of the fact that when we consider university or higher education institutions here in Brazil, the public ones are the better ones. And that's why we have such a hard impact of the pandemic here along 2 years. And these broadened the inequality. And I hope in the coming future, probably in the beginning of the year 2024, I would be able to express myself in a gathering where we can address especially this SDG 4 impacts and what we can do and what we can address in our countries, in our societies, to bring this quality education up from the agendas into action. We have to consider that we have different cultural, social, and economic backgrounds. So we will not be able to define, this is my perception, of course, the meaning of quality education without considering all these differences in our background in our countries. So, but we all know, and probably we all agree, that we have suffered a lot and that we have to be as much as possible clever to understand that we have an opportunity in a very dangerous period of our time, because we had just had, you know, the thoughts and the reflections that were made in the COP28 in Dubai, where our beloved leader, Dr. Renuka, was with some of you, my colleagues and fellows. And at the same time, we had the universities putting out these research that are pointing that we are unfortunately reaching the point of no return, the inflection point in our mother art, in Gaia, in 5 different systems in the globe. So we urge, and it's urgent, to bring the sustainability background to our universities, to our colleges, to our schools around the globe, because I believe that it will be only by education that we will be able to achieve the other 13 Sustainable Development Goals. So thank you very much for this opportunity for being here. I had a lot of international conference and gatherings that I have been invited to be a speaker on this subject and other subjects, and I always presented first my family name as being a member of the Global Sustainable Future Network, and I had the opportunity to share with many of you all those thoughts that are connected with this representation of being SDG 4 Global Chair for our network. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best, and you know, and not concerned with our belief of our faith, of our religion. Hope that we have a chance in the coming future to do better, to support what we are trying to reach as a sustainable and a more sustainable future, especially for this younger generation. So thank you very much, Dr. Renuka. Thank you, all colleagues and fellows.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Jus. Yes, sure, exactly. For any nation to be developed, it should already concerning more about education. This is the best way for any nation to be more developed. So thank you. Yeah, and also our faith and our religion always push us to be more dealing with environment more sustainably. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
I would like to add just one thought. There is diversity, there is adversity, there is a lot of limitations in what we can do and what we should do. But I think we bring a lot of force and energy when we are collective. And that is why I think we must think creatively, because I don't believe that we are going to get funding. We are not going to get time even, or not even get any support. Let us be our own support, each other, and bring that collective power with which we can change our own, as well as our neighborhood, and as well as our regional or our national, whatever we can reach out, and let us change that. So let us be together and collectively think, as we know that need is the mother of invention, and we have this need and we need to invent new things for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I had a message from Mr. Bem. He should present now. Mr. Ben Balaji, he's Vice President of Business Development, Toshiba Plant Systems and Services in Japan. And his talk will be mainly focusing on circular economy. Mr. Ben, I'm sorry for being late. to give you the floor. The floor is yours now.
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good day. Actually, first I need to thank Dr. Renuka ma'am for all this. Not just bringing me over here, but then very important. The F in the GSFN, we need to understand about the F. That's very important because the family. So together as a family, what she mentioned, we need to understand that, together as a family we can fight. Otherwise, not a single individual can do this. What is a that lead the movement? Like, okay, she can lead, but then she needs family, and we are all the family members of Dr. Renuka to spearhead this. Okay, I would actually, for me, one important thought, and I'm just going to the basics, like, so mind if I present when I'm not going to talk big things, just I want to make understand about the importance of circular economy. So can I just make a presentation like starting with this? So you're able to see my presentation, please tell me. Are you able to see my presentation, please?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is about, no, we have been talking about a lot about climate change. I don't know how many of you heard about A2 milk, like, that's a buzzword. You know about EV. This is what the whole meeting is going on in Dubai, in which Dr. Renuka also participated to an extent from our GSFN representing about the COP28, and we've got a lot many things about the ozone layer, carbon footprint, and finally, these are all part of the SDG, like. So greenhouse is also important, the greenhouse gas effect. Look, from my side, I'm actually trying to go to the basics. So please excuse me if you feel this is very, very primitive. But then yes, please bear with that because I'm just looking at the philosophy, how circular economy can be a part of the sustainability. So to understand that, the basic thing is that what actually is the economy. You guys are aware, like it's basically about the consumption and the production about whichever starts and which is within the country it ends or within any community it goes like for a period of time. And okay, so I'll just skip this. I'm just looking at circular. Circular, as per our nation, I belong to India. So for us, in the Indian flag, the national flag, we have the circle. That is nothing but it's called the wheel of growth. Like you would have seen our honorable Prime Minister and the G20 greeting everybody on this particular platform. This is actually Konark Temple, the wheel, and wheel symbolizes growth. Like so, that's about the circular. And in this SDG. My pick was, very clearly on the quality education. Very important is, the quality education, which, as per me, you guys might have understood that. Maybe might have heard. In one scenario, one great gentleman said, if you penetrate into the education system of any country, you can take over the country within even months also. Forget years. Even within months also, you can take over the country. That is the strength of education, like, if you try to penetrate. So you don't need to wage a war, sending ammunitions or try to do politics, all that, that is all nothing. But when you try to penetrate into education and you can, really make good use or bad use or whatever thing, you can easily, win over or you can take over the country. That's the power of, going into the education. Now, actually, we just understand about sustainability. People are talking about sustainability. So what actually sustainability means, like, what actually sustain? Can I have some, answers? I'm not trying to make a kind of presentation, but sustain. What general? What is the sustain meaning? Anybody on the floor or on the roof? Okay, I'm unable to hear. Like anybody? Am I audible or?
To sustain the future of our kids.
Okay, but what actually sustain means? The basic thing. What is sustain?
We can hear you, but few of them have written answers in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't look at that. Maybe I might have missed that. Okay. So long live to support. This is what they say. Okay. No, actually, okay. Long live is nothing. Here, sustain is nothing but very simple. To survive. Just survive. So the actually the ability to survive is nothing but sustainability. No, you can say that the ability to sustain, that is to survive. So for a long time, no, whole time. So in this, these three elements are very important. The basic people, planet, and profit. What we talk about ESG also, like I mean, economics or the governance or in whichever form we can say these three very important. These three P which I consider the people, profit, and planet, like which actually accounts for sustainability. And you guys might be aware of the oldest company in the world. Like I don't know if you might Google, but then on the time limit, I want to just share before meanwhile, you can Google which is the oldest company in the world. You can Google and you can just type in the chat or anything like. I just look into that. Uh, but meanwhile, I just want to make one note that you know you know that cement produces more pollution than all the trucks in the world. Cement is one, big disaster. No, actually, that produces. People have myth that you get from the truck pollution and all that, but all trucks are cars. But no, cement is one, and producing concrete as such. This very important. It's one of the biggest contributors to pollution. That is the construction industry, where you see each and every day new building, new condominium, everything comes up like, and it also consumes around 40% of world energy, like this concrete, like. And cement is a crucial component of concrete, you're aware. It accounts for 5% of global carbon dioxide emissions. Like, so that's actually about cement. Why I'm stating this is that you might have already Googled, which is the longest, the oldest company in the world is, Congo Gumi is a Japanese company. You just see that, these are guys who are started and, you can see, just so this actually is one of the oldest construction company in Japan. They used to use concrete with wood to build temples, after this Meiji restoration. So they were using the CAD. I think, you might are aware that is computer aided drafting or computer aided design and all that. So they were using this long before that. And one important fact for all of you is that any usual building, because in Japan, earthquake is like a lullaby. You don't, I mean, I've been there for a long time, like, I mean, around 8 years. So each and every day you hear the tremors. Those tremors are like lullaby. So you don't get tremor, then you're no, you should be ready for a very big earthquake on the Richter scale, more than 8 and all that. So here, any usual building is designed to withstand, not to collapse in the earthquake of even magnitude 5 to 7. That's the one kind of thing and very important. So you understand that about cement, how long and anyone. This is the oldest company which I just wanted to share. Why I'm trying to share is that very important. Today we all talk about B2B, business to business, and all that. We talk that. But what actually is B2B? We are actually trying to go back to the basics. Like I just want to share a small ad of this. Where long ago, around 4 decades, or you can say around 4 decades ago, Colgate, when it came into India, maybe 5 decades ago, it should be. It actually made a kind of ad or promotion that you should not go with charcoal or you should not go with salt and all that. It's totally against that, and that's how they made their presence. But with time, now they understood that actually salt and the charcoal is very important for your teeth protection and all that, and just they're trying to contradict their own philosophy from 1985 to 2016. So this shows that we're going back to basics, like. And one important, like what Renika ma'am and even other people are mentioning about, we have to look at the future, the human intervention. We talk about lot about artificial intelligence. AI is artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence without, this, what do stands, DS stands for data science. So without the big data or data, you can't do anything like, the AI is completely dependent on data science. Data is completely dependent on AI to function. So put together both of these two, when you bring together, it can also sometimes become a disaster. Like AIDS. Are you aware of this? You should be aware of this. AIDS as a one kind of disease, or which actually takes life. So you should also be prepared that you try to utilize to the minimal, not just artificial intelligence. People talk every day. Not that. Let us be main very important as a human intervention. Teach the next generation on the education system, and how can we really do betterment on the education system, and try to motivate each and every child how important the basic etiquette, like why actually the climate, why we are the climate, why we should really be concerned, like So that starts from the basic education, and everywhere this one thing has happened that people are again going back to the basics. So anyway, I just skip this because it's actually a small video showing about the vehicles. So these actually were prevalent even much before. No, I mean what we are trying to now look at that we are going to EV. EV is not now. It has been started somewhere in 1900 itself. But then owing to other kind of inventions of the petrol, I mean the kind of petroleum, and then Henry Ford bringing the T type of the car and all that. So this is revolutionized and one betterment. But then again we are going back because of saturation, because the kind of pollution it has created. We have misused whatever, and we are going against the nature. So this actually is now we are actually biting the bullet, like so. Anyway, and one important aspect, Amal, do I have time? Is okay or
Yeah, you have
I
time.
don't know.
You have
Yeah,
time. You can continue.
I have time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So my presentation or my thought is very simple. I want to go to touch to the bottom, not just I do not bring the facts and figures that on this. See, you can see eagle. Before slide you would have seen all this. I mean the whole thing is on. The main is eagles, and eagle. It is the king of the birds. Like, and what is importance of this eagle? Very important. What is importance of this eagle is it actually it average lifespan of eagle is nothing but only 40 years. But then if the eagle again tries to, after 40 years, if it tries to, really rejuvenate itself, like, there's a painful process. It has to go through almost 150 days. If the eagle, really survives, that is what sustainability we are talking about. Really sustains. It is going back to again basics and tries to do everything, like knocking its beak and, plucking its own feathers, from that, almost like a suicidal. It once it does all this and it passes through this kind of sustainability test, or you can say the pain, it can again go for another another 30 more years it can live. That is the main uniqueness of this bird. I mean, I don't know, many people might have been aware of this or not, but this is what. So why we relate the eagle to no the glory? And you might have seen each and every airline company or any company, mostly they try to put this eagle as a logo. Why? Because this talks about sustainability, and it actually has that kind of fighting back and bringing back everything. To use to go with the nature. Like, very important to go with the nature and within the limit. So I would like to, before concluding, I would like to share once again, just one important thing I just want to share. Yeah, here, no, we actually presently we are coming towards a circular economy. We are already into the recycling economy. Earlier, we were into linear economy. So I'll just share how it is, in this one slide you can understand. So in the linear economy, what we are doing is that, mostly we are trying to, take more and more, and then we are making, like, the raw material that we are making in the process, and then we are using. After using, there is a lot of waste, like, that's where actually one, you can say the menace, like. And in the recycling economy, what we are doing is that we are taking, okay, little bit reasonably, taking that, and then we are making again, using, and after that we are looking at the recycling mechanism, like. So mostly in this, little bit of waste is generated. Now coming to the circular economy, where the intake itself is minimal. We are not looking at a major take intake. We are very judicious in taking the intake, like. And then we are making it, and then you got all this return, reuse, repair, recycle, and all that. And we look at, in this almost negligible waste is only generated. This is what actually I want to state on the circular economy and how it can really impact our planet, and we can be we can give the next generation a good planet. And yeah, before this I will just skip to this. Actually I made, but then now I don't know to way, I mean, kind of okay. So one more aspect of this is uh, actually uh, just give me a moment. I will just okay. Where are we now? So here, actually, where are we? We are actually from the cradle to grave. I know. So this is where we are taking all that and making, and then we are consuming, and then we are creating a lot many waste. Like, and what actually we would like to be like, the whole world, cradle to cradle. Like, so there is no kind of any waste generation and all that. So that you are not going to make this planet or impact negatively on this planet, and then you're able to give something to the future. Like so, this about the one thing I wanted to share, and finally I can conclude that I don't know. This is one small video which actually they are using sustainable aviation fuel. Almost like cooking oil is being used, like for driving that aeroplane. Like otherwise, aviation turbine fuel is very costly. And one important aspect on the crop rotation, people might be knowing. So this we need to kind of really educate across the globe how we can use. Very important. We need to get connected to the nature. All the kids like then there's no felling of trees or forests or anything, because then only we can survive, and we can remain in the climate. I just want to say thank you for that. And then this what GSFN we are looking at. Everybody coming together, like what Dr. Renuka ma'am's intention or the spirit is that everybody need to come together from different parts of the world for the same agenda. Why? Because we need to unite. So as there is no planet B, like so that's what from my side, guys. Thanks for the slot. I'm ready for the questions. Like,
thank you, Mr.
PMB.
In fact, your presentation is very interesting. It's very interesting for me to differentiate between recycling economy and circular economy. I mean, like at the beginning, I was like thinking, like for example, if you want to recycle some solid waste like plastic and other recyclables, so in this process we call it recycling, not circular economy, right? Or what? I want to focus again about the difference between them.
Oh, you want to go through that? Should I again present the slide? You want to see that, or should I talk about?
Yes. Just try to focus on the difference between the recycling economy and circular economy. Can recycling of solid waste can be already accounted for circular economy, or we can say that this is circular economy?
Yeah. So the linear economy and the circular economy. 1 second, I'll just tell you. One moment. Right. So I bring on this slide, share screen, then this. Okay, guys, you're able to see the screen? Amal, you're able to see my screen?
Yes, I could see. Thank you.
Okay, so this is about the the linear economy, recycling economy, and the circular. So I just again I just try to explain, or try to reiterate that. So generally, even today also we are in the recycling. I mean, a little bit of transition between linear and we are in the position of linear and the recycling. So in the linear economy, what we are doing is that we are trying to take as a conventional kind of method. Taking is nothing but you're drawing out from the nature, the raw materials and all that. Then we are making. Making is nothing but your conversion into whatever products we want to eat, or we want to drive, or anything like for our usage and all that. And that basically we are using. So after using, what happens? Many things you generate waste. Same thing what happens with our own digestive system. You take intake food and all that. After that, it get digest. Some portion you enjoy, it goes for pleasure, your body building and all that, and finally there's a gut, and then it has to come out of your the intestine as a, I mean, what we call as a crap or anything. So finally, which is actually not good or anything. But then in the process, you can't end up with that. If you don't excrete, then your body will go back. It's really, so it has to. That is the law of nature. Now coming to the recycling economy, wherein what you're trying to do is little bit of you're trying to reduce on the intake, like so you're little bit judicious to an extent. And people are understanding that we should not try to fight. I mean, going against the nature and all that. Let us be a little bit of greenery and all that. So then they're trying to understand. Okay, being on the education, people are being told and been kind of advocated on the kind of norms that you need to be close with the nature, and the trees, your soul, or your friend, or whatever is a mother. That's how we try to teach them. The trees are the plants. So there we are trying to make again, no, because we need to sustain. And then during that kind of usage, we are again looking at recycling, like what best we can do. We are trying to recycle. So there, little bit of waste, it is forced. We can't stop that. It is generated. Okay, to an extent, and with the waste also we can use. So now what the world is looking forward is on the circular economy. So wherein the intake itself we are likely to take only minimal, so that you are not trying to harm the nature to the extent. We should not be luxurious in doing that. So little bit we are trying to take, and then we are making it to an extent that completely in the circular motion, wherein you're reusing or repair or return or refurbish or all these kind of words we use. The kind of methodologies and to the best use, so that very minimal waste is being generated. So this very important, where I would urge that each and every school or education system should try to display that about the circular economy, and people will go through that phase, so that there will be minimal intake and also similarly minimal waste generated. Thereby we can save our planet. So that's from my side.
Thank you, thanks a lot. But I can see here from the photo, okay, sorry again, that circular economy also containing recycling can be already involved in circular economy. But as I understood, like we can call it recycling economy in case of after some time we cannot further recycle the waste, then it will be recycling economy because there will be waste will be generated. But other, like for example, when we deal with solid waste management, we have some recyclables that can already can be recycled many times, even
Correct,
to
correct.
infinity.
It can be
So
put
in
again
this
back
case,
into that.
yes, so in this case, we can consider it as a circular economy, right? This is
Yes.
my understanding, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think somebody any questions?
Yes, I think we have another two hands raised. First, we have to move to Amparo Elisa Ramirez, and after to Raza. So, Amparo, you can put your question, please.
No, just I comment. Yes, means.
Yeah,
Amparo.
a little bit louder, madam. Amparo, ma'am, a little bit louder. I'm unable to hear. Could you speak a little bit louder, ma'am?
Je have a raison. Je have a raison. Je have a raison. The use of the product is very important, and the reduction of the minimum money for this action.
Ma'am, can you put that in the chat? Can you put the question in the chat? Can you please put the question in the chat?
Produce all the jour, all the time. Very, very important.
Amparo, we cannot hear you. The connection is very weak. Perhaps you can write your question in the chat.
I comment in the chat.
Okay. So
chat, I'll just go through that. Ma'am, you can put that in the chat.
Not yet, I think.
She has not put that.
Not yet. In the meantime, perhaps we can shift to the other question until we have.
She can write she can put up in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the next? Who would like to?
The next is Raza Pakirisamy.
Yeah,
Thank
Raja
you so very
Pakirisamy.
much for pronouncing my second name exactly, Dr. Panos. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Raja Pakirisamy, the Sustainability Manager working for one of the leading international construction company here in Middle East world. Thank you, Mr. Balaji, for a comprehensive presentation about the sustainability stuffs. It's not about the question, it's just adding one small add-on to Amal about the linear economy and the circular economy. The little bit more clarity on it, how it will be works on the present world. Amal, the previously what we used to do, it's a very basic example, okay? Previously, what we used to do when we do the construction, we not consider about any of the end product, whatever the design, whatever the raw material required, whatever the process, and then whatever the output comes, it started from the input and then it will goes output. This is what the previous practice. Now, from the design perspective, design aspect itself, there is a lots of critical elements that have been deciding for how we are going to manage the purchase of raw material, how we are going to avoid each and every single element of cutting down the waste. And then it's going all the way to the process like manpower, plant and equipment, machinery, the effective way of energy efficient system of construction, and then the sustainable development. At the end, we have a set target to reuse the same building for some other purpose. Say, for example, if we build 25 years before or 30 years before, there is no any output target for that particular building. After 25 years, 30 years, the end life of the building will be demolition, and then the whatever the material generated as a waste, that will be go as a waste, and there are some parts will be utilized as a remunerable waste, that will be the revenue generation, and majority of the waste will be go as a normal normal thing. But the circular economy, we have a set target when you design the building for construction. So end of the life cycle of the building, then that will be changed into the another way for some other users. Whatever the waste generating from that process, it will be very, very, very limited. So you can say that if the traditional practice of construction, it generate more than 50-60% of waste, this type of construction practices will generate not even 10%. So there is a reduction of a straightforward 40-50% of the end life waste generation after the end life cycle of the building. So this is a small example in terms of the construction perspective. The same way it is applicable for each and every individual day-to-day activities, whatever we are using for our day-to-day life. That's one add-on to Mr. Balaji. Thank you for the opportunity. That's it from me.
Yeah, I think just to supplement what Raja Pakirsamy mentioned, Amal and other is on the on the kind of design. Actually, I was running out of time, so I couldn't present to that extent. There is a city in India called Pune. In Pune, there's a company. I think you're aware. Thermax. Thermax is a company. Global kind of company. So their office is made on the one side completely glass. Completely glass, the whole wall is a glass kind of wall. So they have adapted that kind of design so that they use minimal, light usage of the natural light more, and the artificial which you use inside with the AC or in the kind of fresh air and all that, the minimal they use there, so that from the morning till the evening up to 5, you got a very broad light, and only sometimes it's very cloudy. They switch on the light, otherwise they manage. So completely there, we are trying to look at that kind of design where the construction itself is started, and you're using the nature. You're going with the nature. So thereby, we are trying to reduce on other construction and all that. So that is where very kind of example on the sustainability and on the climate and the design where I am talking about a circular economy. Yeah. Next, David, you have a question? Wow.
Okay, hello everyone. Mine is not necessarily a question. Mine is more of a, I just want to reason up all the details that I'm getting, all the facts that I'm getting, and all the knowledge that I know. I don't know if you guys can hear me clearly.
Yes, you can. Please go ahead.
Wonderful. I've been a student of the SDGs program that is going on, and I'm trying to just understand this because I find it very interesting that all the knowledge that we are now getting right now is not something that it's coming now. It's something that has been there.
Yes, you're right.
It's something that was actually, I can say, innovated or identified a long time ago.
Yes.
My biggest concern is when it's coming to the SDGs, the main SDGs, when you're talking of education, quality education, when we're talking of climate change, we're talking of poverty, wealth, economy, life, peace. I come to realize that we all know these things. We know what to do.
Yes.
Many of us here, we know what to do. But why are we not doing it?
Okay.
Can it be something different? Can it be our mindset? Can we work our way around our mindset? When you are talking of education systems.
You're right. Sorry to interrupt, David. So you're asking like, we know what to do. Now the biggest question is how to do. They're actually, why actually the whole planet, people, everybody, fighting on this COP28 and, ended up with the fossil fuel removal and all that. Why? So here is how to do, because, you can bring, very important, you can bring the horse to the pond. Can you make it drink? How to make it drink? That's the biggest challenge now today. So the thing is that we are aligning, everybody knows on paper or practical all that, what to do. And this was prevalent. I even showed you an example. EV is not, no, it is a history. It is not new technology somebody has innovated or invented or something. No, it was prevalent some years ago, like a electrical vehicle. So people are again going back to the basics. So people have to understand that we have been very luxurious in terms of going against the nature. Like nature has given us, we need to at least respect that. When you don't respect nature, then we had the COVID. At that time many people had life lessons like after losing lives and all that. So here is how to do. That's one important aspect where many people are at their own philosophy and they're trying to look at betterment. So some people are coming forward, like Dr. Renuka, madam. Actually, she has taken the initiative and she's coming forward and with that kind of philosophy, bringing all the people together, like minds. So like you had have a very good mindset on the knowledge. Now, if you are ignored, no, we cannot ignore each and every person. So everybody should be heard. So your input is also valid. Like so, here is the challenge: is how to do. What to do? Everybody are aware. But now the thing is that how to do. So how we come along? Along, because unity is strength. But just tell me, even within a family, the brothers fight over a property, mother and son, father and son, or anybody like. So how do we bring one kind of element of trust amongst that? So that's what we are talking today. Is that we need to bring together. That's the family, where everybody should have concern. So biggest challenge is how to do. Yeah, please. I don't know whether I have answered you completely or not, David. Please go ahead.
Thank you. You've actually touched on something I was about to touch. I wasn't really asking a question. It was just bringing up the topic of the mindset, because the biggest challenge, what I see is not about the education mainly. It's not about the things that we need to do or how we need to do it. For me, I see is how do we change our mindset? How do we, when we are actually bringing this education to people, how do we make them get to do these things? Because I know of a lot of people who know how to do things, but they're not doing it. I know a lot of people, like, I know we are supposed to brush our teeth every day. This is something we know, but some of us ignore it in each and every day. So why are we doing this? Can we work on a program, our education system? Can we work on a program that is going to make people start doing things, not just learning things?
Okay.
So that we can fill this, the knowing doing gap. I think that is a challenge that we have.
Yeah,
because
one more thing you said is right. Doing things before that, to do anything you need to learn off. So doing things comes after learning things. You don't learn, you can't do. Basically, very important is that you can only do when you learn. So here, very important. Yes, the ratio of doing is a little bit, or it's not being visible. You may understand, but then learning is very important because learning pays you a lot. After some time, you can see the results of learning. So after learning only comes doing, and doing we need to do effectively. I agree with you, but then learning is equally important because without learning, you try to do something, maybe you can't reach to the goal. Like so, that's my thought. Yeah, I think I'm done, or I think yeah.
Thank you, Balaji. Thank you, Balaji. I think the question is not for you. Please allow him to complete his statement. Thank you.
Okay, right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we can continue now to a related topic in the area of circular economy, because
we have Spiro's hand up. Sorry.
Hi, please.
Ah.
The question of David, I think, is very, very crucial and very, very important about the knowledge. He said that we know what to do. But actually, this is not true. This is not true. David, any individual, as individual, knows what to do. But as a community, we don't know. Science doesn't know what we want. Science doesn't know how to do things. And we are misleading by science, actually. In political science, in philosophy, the knowledge is very confusing and teaching. We, as individuals who are led in life by happiness, we are looking for happiness, for health, for well-being. But in the school, in education, we teach not for health, for happiness, but we teach for wealth. Everything is wealth, capital, money. So this is misleading concept. We are saying that if we are rich, we are going to be happier. But that's not true. As individuals, we are looking for happiness. But science teaches us for wealth. Wealth is. So we are equating happiness with wealth. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why we have so many problems in life, and we have to solve this problem. We have to define and to teach how is happiness, how is love, how is well-being, but we don't know those concepts. Science doesn't know what is the quality, what is the wellness, what is the well-being, what is the welfare, all those leading concepts that we know as individuals are unknown by science, and they're equating with the wrong concepts. We're equating the concept of quality with the concept of value. So those are very, very important concepts in higher education and in philosophy. And we have to change. We have to change. Lately, I published a book. It's just for 2 weeks before it is in the market. It is Change Governing System, the title of the book. And there are 2 ways that this is the wrong way that we are leading the people. And that's the right way that we as individuals, any individual knows in his brain, but science doesn't know the human being. Science doesn't know the human being. Human being knows much more and much better than the science. So we have to define those concepts and this law that leads us as individuals. That I believe that they are very explained very clearly. That's my last book, and we have to change. But to change the way that we are doing and leading and teaching for 2,000 years and more, It's not easy, but we have to do that. And I believe in the Global Sustainability Future Network. They are very good people, smart people, and together we have to change. We have to change the philosophy of teaching. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think let me just comment on few discussion what we already had. So let me start with construction and circularity and the use of buildings. We have probably focused on, building new housing at the moment in around the world. It is something that we need to build housing so that we can give shelter to everyone. That is the biggest policy, or it is an agenda on every government, for every government. But we forget that there are plenty of houses that are void or like not used. So there is a loss of already embodied carbon, that which I think Balaji highlighted, that cement has a very high intensive carbon emissions, and that has been embodied into the buildings already. That we are losing those, like it is there already and we are not making use of it, which means that we are emitting more carbon, and then still we are not having enough houses for everyone or enough shelter for everyone. This type of question or behavior goes back to the inequalities that we have in our society. Inequality for housing, inequality for education, inequality for plenty of things. So now, have we ever thought that how we can share our resources with anyone without compromising our comfort? I don't say that we should compromise our comfort, but we still, without compromising our comfort, we have plenty of things that we can share with each other, and especially to share with those who are in need. Again, I don't say that provide anyone as a charity or a support or a help that is not thinking that they need it. Always support someone or help to empower them. Do not give them fish. Give them the ability to fish. And that is where we want to go. These are few principles that I have adopted, and I always advocate as well in GSFN. I never support any charity or foundation by giving money, but we want to empower ourselves in a way that we don't have to feel like fragile or timid to get into that of a support in a monetary fund. Okay, so that is one thing. Second, we also highlighted, like here, there was highlighted the question or the concept of design. It is very important. And it is also important to think how we design ourselves, our life. That is also in our power. I know there are few social constructions in the society that have a lot of limitations, such as women don't have proper, equality of saying or having decision making in the households, or maybe even children or young people do not have enough freedom to talk about their, objectives or their desires. But we must be mature enough to include their perspective, to respect each other's perspective, and that then only we can design our life as well as the ones those whom we are connected. Then again, other thing is that certainly we have touched a lot on materiality. We have we have made our society so complex that I have seen many people, if we talk like if we say that, oh, I go for 2-3 miles every day for a walking, or I go by public bus, they can't imagine that life because they have never used public transport, or they have not been into a common places where 80% of public is there of our world. And we must say, or we must adopt that type of practice which other 80% of our public, or maybe I think 95% of our public, I mean people on the earth have that common lifestyle. And I also know that our statistics that only 1% of high level income can support other 50% of the low income people. So the inequality is so wide that it's not possible to fill the gap or close the gap. And therefore we must try from the lower end. I don't want 10% or 20% to go above the zero hunger or zero poverty line. I want those 50% of people to grow so that we can bring those 50% not lower, but at least we can grow them 50% from the bottom up so that we can close the gap better than what we could have do by 10% or 20%. And so again, everywhere I speak or experience, I feel that there is so much inequalities, even in the equalities of opportunities of speaking and doing things and taking decisions or acquiring knowledge. But there are plenty of resources now in the world where you can go and get. How many of you have gone into your community and spoken about these problems or tried to solve them or get some support? It is we. And then the question that how we change our mindset. It is us. We need to change our mindset, and we need to go open our mindset and go out and fetch help. I do that with you people, you do with others. And that is how we can go forward. Finally, I would also like to speak on science. Of course, science is not the anything that can give us the solution, but it is a tool to get the solution. Science provides a systematic approach to evidence. If we can gather evidence scientifically, then our theories can be implemented more confidently than otherwise. And therefore, we must do each and everything scientifically. And there I mean even and therefore, first understand what is science. Science, and just a basic science, I would say we have two things in a basic science: quantitative and qualitative research. So when you try to research anything, probably, let me say a very simple example that if I want to research that, would I like a dress to buy or not? Then you can quantitatively analyze few things like cost, how many dresses you have, or how many you want to buy, and so on. So quantitative, so those numbers will help you. But qualitative, whether it is affordable, whether it will look good on me, and many others like will it serve my purpose, and so on. And if these both things are matched up, I think you will find a proper answer whether you want to buy a dress or not. And therefore, you must always think of what you are doing. We are intelligent people. but we need to train ourselves in a way that we can think and take decisions. And everyday thinking will help you. Everyday learning will help you. And everyday being in a good quality environment, I mean, good companionship will help you. So try to be in that type of environment. And lastly, changing the mindset, I have already spoken. But lastly, I would like to now invite, I think we have Shivrao. I did admit him. So probably now Panos can take the floor and invite, carry
Yes.
on with the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Renuka, for all these interesting and very valuable remarks that we should be all aware about, and gives a lot of answers to the questions raised before. And we can move now actually to a very similar topic related to circular economy with our colleague from India, Siv Rao. I think Siv Rao is with us. Siv Rao, can you hear us? Yes, Siv Rao is available. Siv Rao actually has prepared a presentation regarding the role of mobile industry to incentivize people in India related to their actually to promote sustainable lifestyles through the enhanced use of mobile phones in India. So, Siv Rao, can you hear us? Probably Siv Rao is available, but currently probably not in the meeting for some reason. Perhaps we can give some few minutes for a question in the meantime to Mukhtiar Ali Burfat. I think he has raised his hand.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
So before I start, thank you, Madam Ranika, and thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Mol. Before attend this conference, I create a presentation about the flood of Sindh and situation of Jamshoro and Dadru district, Sindh province, Pakistan. But after attend this conference, I changed my mind and I just will create a little presentation for girls' education. If you allow me, so I will share my screen. Yes, hello.
Yes, yes, we hear you. Yes, Mukhtiar.
Just a minute, huh? My presentation is here.
Okay, we can see, yes.
In Sindh, in a part of Pakistan, there is a main problem is education. Primary education, secondary education, and college education, and university education. All steps we are facing gender equality. There is a lot of problem in females, especially girls, little girls, and middle class girls. So I decide what is the fact and figures can I show. This is a quality of education, universal primary education, UPS, improved primary completion rates, improved transcription rate from primary to secondary, gender parity in environment. We have the face problem gender parity environment. When little girls are avoiding go to school in our society. So there is a lot of non-profit NGOs are working in urban and rural areas, but result is still result is zero. Okay. Situation wise, this is the rate of education, Sindh. Okay, in my Sindh province, there is a some age groups, primary 5 to 9, only 37%. Middle 6 to 12, 65%. And secondary 13 to 14, 64%. Is still over 6 point and 4 billion girls and kids are outside school. They are not attending school. Missing faculties. Okay. Missing faculties what? We have teachers, a lot of teachers, but they don't know how to teach primary education. Okay. They need a training base. They need training. Okay. Gender priority. Primary 0.69. Middle 0.99, secondary 0.7, higher 0.57. Overall, over gender priority result is a 0.7, only 7. Challenges. This is the challenges. Access school instruction, system capacity, environmental, primary to post-primary ratio 19 to 10. Gender disparity, rural-urban disparity, quality, poor learning outcomes, outdated textbooks, and trained teachers. This is the main problem. We are studying now the curriculum 100 years back. All students don't know what is the artificial intelligence, what is the computers, what is the robots. They don't know. They still studying the old course. Governors, poor community participation, and encouraging capacity of education managers, weak. Our education system is down. Future education. This is I create just a suggestion how to improve the education system in the reliable PPR. We need school buildings. We need labs. We need trained teachers. We need develop curriculum. This is NGOs are working. They funded USAID 1.55 million funded. JICA 7 to 100 school adopt in this time. Defied 18 million for only they funded the same government. World Bank USAID $300 funded. European Union 30 million funded. TD developed soup 1.261 billion Pakistani rupees are funded, but result is still zero. This is a shocking news. They are a lot of money they are giving our government and different NGOs, but their result is the same. This is I just mentioned the clear what we reforms, success reforms. The ownership of key stakeholder means they shift the power in the local teachers. Teachers don't know what they do. Teachers don't have power for develop the children. If teacher is working for the best for teachers students, so they are NGOs asking, no, you are going wrong. You go this way. Teachers are total confused because they have not good training. So we must be the trained teachers. After train, we will be do better for education. Thank you. This is a picture showing we don't have furniture in school. This is a school picture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mukhtiar, for this interesting presentation. For the case of the education sector and the problems in Pakistan, actually. So we can accommodate any questions at this stage for Mukhtiar.
I would like to say, if anyone don't go up, just one information I've got from Shivrao that he's not ready today for presentation, and so he will not go forward.
Okay.
Present. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mukhtiar, for presenting this situation and a situational analysis, and very important one. Thank you very much. So what I am realizing today that, of course, we are from academic background, and also wider literature, and today's, everyone prominent speakers or humanitarian leaders are definitely believing that education is important, and not only important, it is just like a necessity as we need food or air and water. Okay. I think education is that basic necessity. And we must bring that quality education to each and everyone. We will definitely talk on these projects in coming year. I will make sure that we have something in place for next year. But however, I also want to give an example that GSFN has done, and I'm very proud for that, because it is not, I have not done, but two of our GSFN members got together. So one is from Afghanistan, and we know the current situation in Afghanistan that girls' education is banned, nearly banned. Like girls cannot go to the schools. And even if they go, they are kept separately, they are not well treated and so on. I don't know the real situation at the moment, but I have come to know from the GSFN coordinates in Afghanistan. And also one of the vice chancellor of our, one of the university in GSFN was our member, is now member, and they have confirmed that girls are not allowed in the school. And one of our GSFN, another coordinator has come forward to teach some like water and climate change. He wanted to teach few people about water and climate change, and so how we can do it. And fortunately, GSFN has all types of experts. And when I asked Abdul from Abdul Quran, Abdul, I don't remember the other name of his. Let me just find out. He is, well, he has written water care services, but he is professor, okay, I don't remember the other name, like family name, but he's Abdul from Pakistan, and he is an expert in water management. And what he is doing, that he is delivering a training program to 6 people in Afghanistan, young people in Afghanistan, through Zoom account. And these 6 people will get trained, and we are recording those Zoom meetings, the trainings, and we will then distribute through WhatsApp to each and everyone who are within their circle, which means that this education will be disseminated in free to people through WhatsApp. Free app, free this. I'm so grateful. I'm very, very grateful to Abdul to take this type of initiative without any self-interest. I mean, selfishness. I just only mentioned him that we want to deliver this training program, and that's all. He made his own arrangement, he made his time, and he got into contact with that person in Afghanistan. And the person in Afghanistan is also very enthusiastic. He brought in 12 people on board. And I believe I certainly know that there were 6, but he also mentioned that, oh, okay, it is actually 24 people, according to the last message, that 24 people are being trained through this type of, initiative, which is such a nice example of what a person can do with their knowledge. And this will definitely help get some capacity development within that region and within our few coordinators. So I wanted to share that. Now, back to this question of quality and facilities and so on. I believe you should just keep on doing, keep on trying, and get some support and do it. I know we are mainly, when I come across these projects, mainly I get a big list of budget. And there only I get confused. And the budget, as already Mukhtiar showed us, that they are very big budgets. They're not small like 10,000 or something. They are very big budgets. And I get confused what to do, how to do, and where to do, and just can't think of it. It is, I don't understand. We need to mobilize the resources that we are putting where it is not important or where it is not necessary, or maybe we can share more, our resources, and that is how we can move forward. The question of finance should not stop us if we are resourceful within ourselves. So I will stop there. Yes, Mukhtiar, do you have a point to say?
Yes, ma'am. Finance and budget is not a problem. Problem is that teacher is creating next generation leaders. If teacher is sincere, teacher doesn't care who support is supporting, who's not, who are not supporting. Problem is who investing the budget. They are not going to check they are using proper or not. This is the problem.
Okay, thank you. I think there is a monitoring and evaluation system wherever there is finance this, but yes, you are right. It could be misused and so on. Let us hear from Professor Ernesto if he has some suggestions. Thank you.
Yes, Professor Ernesto, we are glad to have you here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in Ottawa, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And good day, everyone around the world. Thank you for the chance. Yeah, I have just a thought to share with you that most of us in GSFN, I would like to
Ernesto,
congratulate.
can I just point out that we can't see you? We can just see your picture. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm having difficulty with my internet connection, so I
Okay, no
rather.
problem. Please carry on.
Yeah, and so since majority of us are in academics, and the COP28, or the Conference of Parties in Dubai, just concluded, and one of the highlights is I was just reflecting on that there was an immediate pledge to loss and damage fund. Now, my question I would like to throw to our group: should education be included to be benefited to the loss and damage funds? Because a lot of classrooms, a lot of educational structures, institutions, books, and other things are affected by the climate change as well. Floods or fires and everywhere in the world, especially those developing countries that are the ultimate negative recipient of these greenhouse effects. So I was just wondering what we can do as an academician to assert in the loss and damage fund should be also part of it directed not only on food but on education. As a matter of fact, if I will be given the power or the voice, I prioritize education rather than government projects that will be subjected to corruption. Thank you and good morning. That's my take for the day. Thank you, Dr. Renuka, and congratulations.
So we would like to thank very much Professor Ernesto for his very valuable intervention despite the late time. I don't know, I think Renuka, we have almost passed from most of our speakers. Let me check if from the UK we have Waltrot Pospisil with us. I think he's not with us today. Waltrot would like to present how his foundation Arcbound promotes sustainable activities and provide examples, but unfortunately,
sorry, we have Val with us. Yes.
He's with us.
It is she. And
see. Okay, sorry, because I cannot see the.
Here she
Yes,
is.
hello.
Yes.
I renamed myself to Val.
Hello.
Yes. Anyway, it
Hello,
was
nice to see
Waltrot
you.
was special first. But I've been in the UK for such a long time that people started to call me Val, so I said that's easier. I know I got used to it, put myself down for Val and Arcbound Foundation. Yes. I wasn't actually prepared to talk. I just was interested to listen to everyone because Dr. Renuka, she is a trustee with Arcbound Foundation, and Arcbound Foundation is a publishing and writing company, and we're a global enterprise by now, doing good fun, but we have got some new accreditations for it. We have been since Glasgow 2026 in the list of the United Nations environmental agencies who are promoting the climate justice and everything. And yes, we also have been supporting a few projects outside of the UK. I mean, we're UK, Britain based, Scotland and Bristol in England. And but we also have promoted quite a few projects outside the UK, something which was layer farming in Nepal, because people got affected by climate change, and layer farming actually helped them to sustain enough space to grow their crops, because we have to adjust to climate change as well, and it would be more important just to stop it and but adjusting towards it is as well very important. And we have had a few books published about climate adaptation and other things we can do for the climate. Yes, and we are promoting different organizations throughout the world. Really, we have our own crowdfunding website where people can put their projects in and receive funding through the projects if they advertise it through our crowdbound funding website. And we keep on publishing books to raise awareness about more equality, diversity, and better world, and more climate action and everything. Yes, so this is what we do here in the UK. Thank you. So I think this is about it. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer, but I wasn't prepared to talk, so I just wanted to keep myself without the video, really. Yeah, I'm just sitting in my kitchen and I was just doing all the cooking, so I don't have a nice background.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm so pleased that you are here today, and I would definitely like you to extend a little bit on how many awards did you get this year as a small publishers, and how you are, of course you mentioned few of the things that how you are contributing to public awareness of climate change through your publishing activities, but also you have some support for writers and other things. So please explain us more, which I think many of us would be like to hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You have to just check out our website. If I put it in the chat, and we have amazing amount of books published through arcbound.com, because we have got a publishing enterprise, but it actually is a non-profit publishing enterprise because it became a charity, and it's called a social non-profit social enterprise, where everything goes back into the charity. So if, in case we sell a lot of books, everything goes back just to promote, do more good things for disadvantaged authors, and we have a big set of idea about social inclusion, diversity, equality, and we support disadvantaged authors, people facing homelessness, like coming from all ways of life, and supporting them to write, because writing is a very powerful tool actually to express yourself, to actually realize what is going on, and to have a voice. Because people who don't have a voice, they don't get hurt. This is so important. This also goes together with the school. It said if you go to school, if you have an education, then you're able to write about your life. You're able to write a letter about what is wrong, or also try able to contribute, give your ideas. It's a change of your ideas, and you're able to get it up to the public, because different countries are different, but also in the UK, everything which is published, most authors come from better off backgrounds, like who have better, have financially more stable lives before, or when, and this is, we want to change it. We just want to make sure that everyone's voice gets heard, no matter where they come from. If they have any, everything which is in the Equality Act, but also further on, which just relates to disadvantage coming from a deprived background with poverty, difficult childhood, broken families, also people who might have had custody, being in prison, refugees, asylum seekers, like everyone should be treated equally, and everyone should be empowered to have a voice. So our slogan is to be empowering people through writing, and we still, now it's diversity, equality, inclusion, and other things, but this is our main idea. This is how we work, and that we also then have the charity, and then we have got the publishing website, and we have published loads of brilliant books from authors from all over the world, really, who came, some of them living in Britain already at the moment, some not yet or not there. And then we also have an academic website, publish articles on the different blogs, and a lot of social media channels as well. And we have the crowdbound platform where everyone is actually able to make an application if they have a good project anywhere in the world which they want to be featured in this crowdbound website. They can feature it there for free, and any sort of donations they get, we only keep 1% in the end, because otherwise, if you go into crowdfunding, usually the crowdfunding usually takes quite a lot. They take, I think, 10% or something like that. We only take 1%, and this 1% goes back to the charity. So, but they first of all would need to make an application, and then after it's accepted, you can check out our crowdbound. So there's loads of different websites, really. If you want, I can just switch myself off again and just put all the links in the chat. Then you can just look through them. Yeah. Right,
Thank
so
you. Thank you, Val. I want to
Thank
make
you.
two announcements, which we are, Arcbound and GSFN has, partnered with. One is that anyone who want to write blogs and want to have academic domain, then Arcbound provides that. Like if you want to have a blog immediately going out with the domain of ac.uk, you will be able
Yeah.
to get that. And another thing is that Arcbound gives like invites people to become their book ambassadors, and
Yes.
those who support selling books will get 10% of that. So you can maybe we will send you proper, like I have already sent several times few emails around this during the year, but we will always refresh these
Mhm.
announcements again. So thank
Yeah,
you for being
we have
with us.
also
Thank you very much.
sell publishing rights. For instance, we sold publishing rights for climate adaptation to a Japanese publisher who is publishing it in Japanese. This was really last year. I don't know how much it is, but Steve would know, or founder would know more details about it if any other country is interested in getting a publishing right for one of our books. They can translate it in their own language, or keep it in English, because English is very common nowadays. Yes, so yeah, I mean, my first language is not English, so but
Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. So I will look through the different links and put them in the chat box. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much also, Val and Renuka, because we see again that the topic of quality education, it is raised on the top of our discussions today. Perhaps I think we can proceed with the latest topic. I'm not sure if we have with us Manuel Farias Biguera from Chile. Manuel would like again to present something about related to the education sector in his country, but I think he's not with us for some reason.
Yes, he is from Brazil and he has not.
From Brazil. Okay. And Manuel is a director of technical education. I see his profile.
Yes, we don't have him.
And how the capacities, actually, according to his presentation abstract, he would like to present how the RED cooperative project has strengthened the capacities of cooperative companies in his country to expand in the field of providing education for sustainability through partnerships, public-private governance partnerships, and so on. So, since we do not have Manuel with us, Renuka, I think we have some time if any of the participants would like to add something.
Okay,
I
if
think
we don't have, yes.
Questions on the chat box here, so we can answer some of them.
Yes, please carry on.
There is one question, which is why is sustainable development so often associated with protecting the environment? In fact, I want to clarify that sustainable development have three pillars, not only one pillar. Environment is one of them. So we have three pillars: environment, social, and economic. So we need to achieve these three pillars simultaneously. So it's not about only environment, it's also about social sustainability and economic sustainability. So there are other questions as well.
Amal, the question is, of course, the person who has written knows that there are three pillars, but the question is that why we focus more on environment. So probably
because environment also affect some like human activities, they affect environment. Like the people want to achieve profit and they want to have their own activities, so that's why they affect environment.
Okay, let me just elaborate what I think. Definitely there are three pillars, but our economy is sourced by ecology. Anything that raw material or natural resources are a part of ecology or our environment. And if we don't have healthy environment, then our economy is going to compromise. And also when if these two are compromised, then our social life is compromised. So even though we have given equal rights or equal weightage to these three pillars, of course, environments still is what you say, the biggest challenge, in the sense of environment should be at its optimal, then only it will be able to provide economy and social. Because if there is no, say from environment, if there is no resources, people will fight among themselves. And so there would be no social equality. Secondly, if we are not able to do business without the raw materials, then again it will impact our economy. So that I believe environment still plays a very big role in these 3 pillars or sustainable development goals. And therefore people are focusing on that very much. If that is first given, then we can also achieve other social and other things. Social inequality, that is we have created, okay? And of course, environmental degradation is also created by us, but it is out of a necessity. Whereas social inequality is not out of necessity, but it is out of power and misconceptions. So this difference we need to understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Renuka, for your clarifications. Any other colleague that would like to share something at this stage? I think we have some time according to our time schedule.
Oh, okay. If we don't have anything, I have been provided a documentary by our GSFN coordinator, and we can play that documentary if everyone is happy with that. So it is already 2 o'clock. So let us have a documentary, and then finally I will announce bronze awards, and then we can close. By then, if anyone comes, we can always have them to speak in case they appear here. Okay. So I will share this. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, it is visible.
Oh, sorry, I think I know it's correct.
Since the Industrial Revolution in 1800, human activities have been the main drivers of climate change, primarily due to burning of fossil fuel like coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat-trapping gas carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide, powerful greenhouse gases that blankets the earth and traps heat from the sun, causing global warming. Quad B, UNWA Global, and Think Ocean have come together in coming up with the first prototype of a multi-sport complex constructed using soil, used tires, and recycled plastics. Our aim is to stop a plastic crisis, which has become a climate crisis, threatening our own survival. Plastics and tire pollution can alter habitats and natural processes, reducing ecosystems' ability to adapt to climate change, directly affecting millions of people's lives and livelihoods. Climate will affect all four dimensions of food security: availability, accessibility, stability, and utilization, therefore affecting social well-being of the people. Plastics have become such an entrenched part of our lives. Annual plastic production is 430 million metric tons, out of which only 9% has ever been recycled. The amount of plastic produced since 1950 measures about 9.2 billion tons. Researchers are equating it to the weight of 1,600 Great Pyramids of Giza. Single-use plastics such as packaging bags, straws, and packaging products are particularly detrimental. Data from World Economic Forum suggests that packaging probably accounts for 1/3 of all plastics used, of which approximately 40% goes to landfills, while 32% escapes the collection system and ends up littering our environment. 14% is incinerated and 14% is recycled. Out of the 14% which is recycled, only 2% which is effectively recycled. The other 12% is probably downcycled. Plastics have a very heavy carbon footprint and a very heavy chemical footprint during production, transportation, decay, and or incineration. Plastics takes 500 to 1,000 years to decay and emit greenhouse gases at every stage of its life cycle. More than 32% of the 78 million tons of plastic packaging produced annually is left to flow into the ocean, an equivalent of pouring one garbage truck every minute, which adds up to 8 million metric tons every year. This is so much plastics, reports suggest, that it could outweigh the fish in the ocean by 2050. A well-managed and abundant ocean could feed 1 billion people a healthy seafood meal every day forever. This is equal to feeding 20 nations the same population as Kenya a healthy seafood meal every day forever. Once plastics gets into the ocean, some sink to the bottom of the ocean, robbing marine ecosystem the oxygen they need to survive. Others break down into microplastics over hundreds of years. Microplastics are fatal to marine life. Sea creatures are choking on them. Microplastics are ingested by species across the marine world. Small fish are mistaking microplastics for food. Small fish are eaten by big fish, and big fish are eaten by humans. Plastic is in the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the honey we love, the beer we drink. Plastics is in our salt. Plastics is everywhere. Microplastics have been detected in human blood for the first time, with scientists finding tiny particles in almost 80% of people tested. This discovery shows that particles can travel around human bodies and may lodge in organs. Plastics have become an essential component of product and packaging because they are durable, lightweight, and cheap. Though they offer numerous benefits, plastics originate from fossil fuel and emit greenhouse gas from cradle to grave. Report projects that the plastic industry shall be responsible for 1.34 billion tons of greenhouse gas emission annually by 2030, about equal to the emission of the entire continent of Africa today. Plastics are responsible for roughly 4.5% of global greenhouse gas emission, and this is why plastics cannot be ignored. If plastics was a nation, it could be the 5th largest emitter of greenhouse gas in the world, after China, United States, Russia, and India. On a molecular level, plastics are made of polymers, which are long, flexible chains of chemical compounds. This structure allows plastics to be molded into different shapes, especially under heat and pressure. Around the world, 3,300 tires are produced every minute. About 32 million tons of tires reach the end of their life each year. This is around 1 billion end-of-life tires annually. It takes hundreds of years for tires to decompose. Together, we can make good use of throwaway plastics and use tires. Let us stop plastic pollution from wrecking our climate.
This tire stadium will help us in many ways. It will nurture talent for our kids. Like me, I'll have the opportunities to sell my goods. Our leaders will come to attend, and that is where our kids will get sponsorship. It will create a lot of job opportunities.
Environment bado iko sawa. Kama ni maji wanakunywa, tunajua hizo plastic kuna venye zinaokotwa, zinawekwa pahali pamoja.
We will collect plastics to go build such
kama hiyo tunasikia
stadiums.
ya kujenga nini? Ya kujenga uwanja. Kila kitu tunaokota, tunaweka usafi na tunaishi vizuri. Na hiyo naona itatusaidia sana kulingana na venye mnajenga na hizo vitu za recycling. Asante.
My name is Steve Jeroge. I play basketball in Nyeri Technique. We don't have even one community court, which leads to even time wastage where people almost use drugs. So we prefer that the government can build us a court, mostly a community court where a person can access anytime he needs and do what he wants to practice on.
My name is Kevin Itaka Moregi. I'm a basketball player, whereby we have shortage of courts, whereby we have a project that uses waste materials like plastic and tires, which will help us to create employment and to nurture talents.
I'm Purity, I'm a basketball player, and having a community basketball court made out of recycled plastics and tires is going to help us and also our environment in that we're going to reduce the amount of littering around our compounds, around our areas, and also it's going to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that are being emitted into the air, which can also lead to global warming in our country.
She's capable of making, but there's just something very special about this young woman.
Like that, the horn!
So I think the video has been concluded. Yes.
Yes, it is concluded. Thank you very much for watching. I think Alex, he's Alex, and he's going to come tomorrow and present his motivation for developing this documentary. Just to highlight that he is sportsman, basketball player, and he wanted to do something which can relate to him and sports. So I think he has made this very, very interesting and fact-based documentary, which is really, really nice and offer us to watch for free. So thank you for him as well. Thank you for all of you to watch it with me. Yes, floor is yours. You are on mute.
Yes. Thank you very much, Renuka, for this very interesting video about plastics and microplastics. Indeed, this is a very big issue affecting the whole world, entire, let's say, food chain. It is a contaminant for our food chain. And perhaps, I don't know, shall we move to any closing remarks or before the awards? I think the participation, Renuka, you can say better, I think the participation was quite high. I mean,
yes, certainly.
Still there.
Certainly, just now we have gone low. Of course, we are now over 3 hours, so definitely people have their own work. Yes. But at one point we had 45 people, and so I think the football was very good today. So just I wanted to reflect on the awards first. And I will say the same thing tomorrow, and then I will just announce only bronze awards today, and then tomorrow we will go for the silver, gold, and platinum. Now, please, everyone, this is for everyone, whoever listens to me afterwards also, and maybe I can direct them to listen this if there is any confusion. So awards, what I have done with the awards, that we invited a self-nomination. And so we wanted everyone to take chance to present themselves. I know people criticize self-nomination, but I absolutely love it because it is an exercise where you can dwell into yourself and take actually ownership of assessing yourself, your activities, and think the chairship which we have given you. Few of them don't have chairship, but I believe whatever you are doing, we have given the chairship in the same essence, right? So it was an exercise for you to dwell into what I am doing with this network, not only for that, but what I'm doing to the society through my activities. Have I impacted anything what I promised as my expertise or my chairship? That is what we wanted you to dwell into and see, and not limit or be sorry if you have not done anything. No, that was not the purpose. The purpose was to think ahead that, okay, I have done something or somewhere or maybe not, how I can start a journey of impacting more. So that is the exercise I wanted everyone to do through this self-nomination form, because it has helped me to do something. Whenever today I was very, very pleased that few of you challenged me that these are the issues and we should work here. If we don't know what are the issues, or if no one tells you or directs you from this to that issue, probably you never come across and never think of that. And so I think this conference has been immense successful today, from bringing these voices to the conference or this place. Conference has its own meaning. It is not only the literature that we research in institutional settings. They are there, they are important. But important is, again, listening to different voices in a place, like we try to understand that and address those problems. This type of, I'm not a religious person, so don't get wrong with what I'm going to tell now. Initially, temples were made for such conferences. Many eras back, when temple or a place which was selected and people wanted to debate on anything, they used to call it a temple, a place of peace, or maybe a place of voices where anyone can come and talk. And I feel that these type of places are called conferences, where anyone can come and speak. And also I like these online conferences more, because in the same one screen, you can see who is present. If you are in person, and I was there in COP as well, you can't realize how many people are there with you. It is very hard to keep one-to-one in a conference in person. Whereas here, you can chat, you can look to 24, 50 people's faces at a time, which is not possible in person. I have been before, I have been to plenty of conferences, and I have never achieved this much knowledge which I get from the online thing. So technology are inevitable for us in future. And I love this technology where it connects me without any borders to everyone, or without any limitations. It is in my power or my control where to go, how to go. I can be in Australia one time, and just after 5 minutes, I can be in Philippines. So that is the pleasure I get here on online connecting with people. And also, I'm very fortunate that I hear so many interesting talks and so many interesting issues where I find connections between one or the other and so on. So having that all said, let me tell you that this was an exercise to reflect on your own thing. Never mind if you have done anything or not, or if you have done ample, then so good, and thankful for that, very grateful for that. So depending on that, I have just selected few people who have recently joined and maybe have not done yet. Or maybe they have done very little connection with our objectives. Then I have placed them with bronze. I have awarded them with bronze level. What I mean here, whatever the level you have got, do not take it very seriously in the thinking that any discrimination has been done. But it is something what I have just tried to weight it in a way that how many opportunities you have and you have not explored yet. So if you are on a bronze, you feel that you have opportunities to go to platinum. That means you have ample of opportunities and try to achieve them. If you are at a platinum, try to keep it, because I have also degraded few people from platinum to gold or silver this time. It is just because probably they are too busy in doing things and have not engaged with what have been already done by them last year. So it is just a fun exercise, but also to take it as you want. Okay, and I'm happy to consult with anyone if they have doubt and to show them a way forward as I think. It is all about my thinking today here, but I believe I've done a justice as far as I know. If you think that you are not given a justice, please connect with me and let us see how we can solve it. Okay, so having said that, I would like to present a few awards few bronze awards today. I would also like to remind everyone that the award form is still open until tomorrow evening, and we will then give this time I have also provided a space in the form where you can put your personalized message, and therefore I have provided a place to put that, and we will provide all the certificates with personalized message, and therefore we are working on it as well. So that is what today I wanted to say, and I will share the slides. I will just stop a minute. Does anyone want to, say anything before I go for awards?
Perhaps, Renuka, we would like to thank you for all your effort, because you managed in the last minute to run a conference. This is what I realized yesterday when you were looking for chair in our conference. And this is a remarkable attempt, because you travel also here and there. And we are very glad to be here. I think this is an informal forum that we feel all together. And this is, I think, the success of this conference from my side, what I feel.
Absolutely. You know, I had that, what do you say, a confidence that my GSFN people will not let me down. So I just give one email and I get plenty of responses. And so that is why I am so powerful today. Yeah, I must do things in advance. That is a lesson I need to learn. But it's so many things are going on, and it's always a last minute. So yeah, thank you very much. So let me just open my PowerPoint, and yes, I will share that with you now. So I believe I have 48 so far bronze awards, and I'm going to just give the names at the moment. And as I mentioned, we have designed personalized certificates, and that will be sent to you in a week's time. So here we have, maybe I have shared, and maybe Professor Panos can read the names. Please do.
Thank you very much, Renuka. So we have, first of all, from Kenya, Brian Guekesa Manguala. Second, it is from Kazakhstan and the US, Merjen Dusenov. From Malaysia, in the third place, we have here Zal Kiplay bin Saleh Muhammad. From Nigeria, we have Engr Mukhtar Sehu. Again from Nigeria, Muhyiddin Oigole. From Benin, Adomu Sergey. Then from Pakistan, we have Muhammad Shahzad Manzoor. From India, we have Ambika Khan Said. From Morocco, we have Amale Laroussi. From Jamaica, we have Dwight and Dwayne Stewart. From Sri Lanka, Madumaze Eranga Viraj. From South Africa, Edmund Linduise. From Kenya, Madame Gladys Makburi. From Uganda, Kakunda Naome. From Nigeria, Dr. Adepozu Oluetos Abigail Diana. From India, Safkat Kazmi. Again from India, Danis Saikh. From Cameroon, Likamata Yala. From India, Azit Kumar Palai. And finally, I think in the list here we have from Ethiopia, Ismail Adem. So a very comprehensive list, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I will invite Amal to present another 20 bronze awards. So let me change the slide, please. Okay. So here we have now. Yes, please.
There is Federico Del, Argentina, and Taros Daniel from Kenya, and then Peterson from Nigeria, and Maureen Hook from Canada, Joseph Rugat from Kenya, Flavius from Nigeria, Sophie Bakud from UK, and then Timedio from Nigeria, Sandro Di Oliveira from Brazil, and Stephen Dantini from Nigeria, and Samuel Aluku from Nigeria, Mudu Livu from Cameroon, Madmej from Sri Lanka, and Dr. Anil Kumar from India, and Patience from Ghana, and then Bilu Abdullahi from Nigeria, Sonja from Australia, Kidgak from Simon from Nigeria, Hannah Titus from Nigeria, Dade James from Nigeria. Congratulations to all Bronze Award winners.
Thank you very much, Amal. And we have now last few of them. So here there are few more with bronze level. Yeah, please, Panos.
Yes, thank you, Renuka. Yes, we have from India, Arunesh Srivastava, from Nigeria, Tiamiyu Tunde, and again from Nigeria, Aminu Ahmad, Nigeria, David Emeka Ezeonikewer, from Nigeria again, Muhyiddin Oigole, and again, and one last from Nigeria, Nionu Martin Uchena. So congrats also to this list of people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So a huge congratulations on for these awards. This probably most of them have just recently joined, but they have still made connections with our GSFN objectives. And so I'm pleased to award them. You can see that we have a very big presence in Nigeria. Also, when I went to COP, I was very pleased that nearly 50% of people whom I met, that is from nowhere, you know, like from even from the businesses, and they mentioned that they know about GSFN. So I'm very proud. So here we are now, I think, and I will announce more if we bronze awards, which if we get tomorrow, and we will definitely announce gold, silver, and platinum tomorrow. So everyone stay tuned in and so on. And I will request last words from like a closing or remarks from Anil first and then Panos next.
You mean remarks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to join this conference. And for me, I have some remarks from this session. First of all, I think we need to focus more about quality of education. And in this issue, we need also to consider gender equality, because females also in some countries, they cannot get the opportunity to have education. And the second thing also about transition to green energy, and also we need to think about like maybe a new practices that can motivate the people in the industry to make transition to the green technologies. And also, what else? I also want to yes, about sustainable development. Yes, I think we need also to raise environmental awareness, because I think most people maybe when you ask some people for some practices, they don't know why they need to do that. But if they know exactly that this can affect their health, this can affect their next generation, so they can accordingly they can make these practices, and they can aware of the impacts of these practices. That's only. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anil, for being chair and giving us the time and support to the GSFN today. And I would invite Professor Panos to give his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Renuka, again for the nice words to all of us. As I said, I have joined this conference for the second time, and I'm very glad to be part of this, let's say, informal community. I think the role of this conference in promoting partnerships is very critical in a period that we should indeed develop partnerships, not in the traditional way that we many times do in our advanced economies, but also by including people from less advanced economies. So I have to say that the role of this conference in promoting global diversity and inclusion, indeed, it is very prominent. We would like to thank you for this yourself, of course, very much. I have to say that my role in general in all this sustainable discussion, it is mainly on how to achieve a more smooth energy transition. This is my focus academically, and this is what I try to discuss in different forums, because sustainability is something that we all agree, but the transition to this sustainable period, it seems that it has a lot of problems currently, and I'm trying to promote this indeed as a future for our community. Sustainability is indeed the most important thing for the coming years. So thank you very much, Renuka, for this kind invitation to me. And I'm very glad that every time, and also this year, I had the opportunity to meet again very prominent colleagues and academics from many different parts. I remember Ernesto from last year, but this year I think we met also Jose, and I'm very glad. And I hope to have some opportunity to continue this cooperation from our academic, let's say, in our academic community. So thank you very much for everything, and I wish have a nice evening and have a nice Christmas or celebration, vacation for all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to make two announcements also. Going forward, we have GSFN in partnership with University of course, Central Lancashire. We have one grant for Empower Her project, and that we are going to do in Egypt. And we will soon start that project. Though it is a very small project, we are going to make it most of, make use of it most to popularize our Empower Her idea or initiative to many other countries, because we are working online. We can do it with very less resources. And so that is one project we are going to embark on, and that will definitely have vocational training and educational and digital education for women. Female students in universities or graduates, and how they can increase their capacity to get into the work. Because our proposition was that there are plenty of female graduates now. They are more than male graduates. However, their place in the percentage of female getting into the workplace is less. And therefore, we want to empower women with some digital skills, business skills, and entrepreneur skills, so that they can find their place in a workplace very easily, career pathways easily. So that is one thing. Second, we have a huge community, of course, in Nigeria and many other countries in Africa, as well as Philippines, Indonesia, and Asia, India as well. But we, having all that, we are going to focus on all that countries. But our first project is going to focus on Pakistan. We are going to start Communities Carbon Calculator project in Pakistan with a soil conference as a debut, in January. We are going to have a soil conference. And at the end of the soil conference, we will bring all international expertise to talk on the Communities Carbon Calculator project. Now, Carbon Calculator project, these Communities Carbon Calculator project will focus on quantifying each and every activities in agriculture and farming industry, making sure that our industry becomes or offers food security, but not only food security, it will also focus on low carbon practices in agriculture and farming industry, influencing all other rest of the sectors such as water, waste, fleet, and crop planting, and health and nutrition, and many others, energy, and so on. So it is it will be a vehicle for total transformation in agriculture and farming industry. And I want you all to join in this project, one or the directly or indirectly, in whatever the way you can do it. So that is the call for you, and I will be soon putting emails regarding this all. I have started already doing so, but it will be more formally done. And we have decided this conference in January 25, 26, 27, 28. That is last week of January. And you will soon receive all the information. So thank you very much for listening to me, everyone, today, and especially taking my responsibilities and offering your time as chairs, Professor Panos and Dr. Amal. I'm very thankful for each and every audience who came here and supported this conference. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Renuka. Have a nice evening to all.
Thank you.
And probably see you tomorrow again.